Gangs of men in pursuit of one man, an attack on this man by many men. Stones, metal poles, cement blocks are the weapons of the attack that ends with the fair-looking man lying motionless. All these disturbing images captured on one video were today presented to an Accra High Court as evidence showing how 13 men were filmed beating Army Major Maxwell Adam Mahama to death. 14 persons are standing trial for the offense, and the state's final witness, Chief Inspector Samuel Ejakwa, has been testifying. Court correspondent Joseph Akablay sat through the proceedings as the video was played. He's joining me via Zoom right now. Hello, Joseph. First of all, you watched the video evidence, and we've captured a few of the things that where people are expected to see. But give us more of what you see in this particular video. Hello, Joseph.
Hello.
Yes. Joseph, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Maybe you might have to reposition so we can hear you properly. Let's try this again. If you hear me, give us extra details on what you see in this particular video presented as evidence. Okay, we'll bring you back that particular story shortly, but we're still with the court because an Accra High Court of Human Rights Division will at 1 p.m. today deliver its ruling on an interlocutory injunction filed by one of the Rastafarian students denied admission by Achimota School. Iras Maguai suing through his father, Terrell Kwame Maguai. The applicant is urging the court to compel Achimota School to admit him to further his education. This application for interlocutory injunction was filed pending the determination of the substantive case filed in court after Achimota School refused to admit the applicant and another Rastafarian student who declined to cut their dreadlocks. My colleague Kweku Asante is in court. He's joining me with more. Kweku, were argument advanced by both parties in support or against this case before the judge?
Right, Gifty. So when this case was called in court today, Achimota School, the Board of Governors, which was sued in this application, did not come to court. And so the application for interlocutory injunction had already been filed. The arguments and support were already in that document. And so the judge said that she would need some time to study the particular issues that have been set out in the document and then return at 1 p.m. to make a determination. And so among other issues, these students who were denied admission by the Achimota School for their refusal to cut their dreadlocks, which they say is a manifestation and expression of their religion, are arguing that by this decision of Achimota School, their right to education has been infringed upon, as well as their right to religion. And they are asking the court to compel Achimota School to admit them. But before that, and you know, sometimes applications of this sort and matters of this sort in court could travel a long time. They are asking the court for an injunction restraining Achimota School from not admitting them. And so they're asking the court to grant this injunction so that Achimota School will admit them pending the final determination of this case, which can travel for a while, probably a year or more. And so this injunction will be decided on at 1 p.m. when the trial judge will come back and then deliver his ruling after taking cognizance of the issues that have been set out in the application before her.
Well, Kweku, were the people who are suing in court today?
Right. So the Rastafarian student who has filed this application through the father, Iras Maguai, was in court together with other Rastafarians who just came around to offer some support. But Achimota School were not here. There were no representation either legally or personally by any official of the school in terms of representing them. But the Rastafarian student, together with the parents, as well as other people who just came here to support, were all here.
Well, Kweku, thank you very much. And we're still staying in the court. Kweku Asante there reporting on the Achimota School, Bruhaha. Of course, the case has been taken to court. I want to take you back to court. Joseph Akablay tried to raise him earlier about Major Maxwell Adam Mahama's trial, which is so ongoing. Joseph, it's good to have you again. I was asking you earlier what more you can tell us about the video that was shown in court today as evidence.
And so it's actually a shaky footage that starts with individuals in pursuit of one man The man is running along a tarred road, and at a point he veers off the tarred road into a bush towards an unpainted structure. Those who are pursuing him, some are carrying guns, others have clubs, stones, among others. Once they catch up with him, they get hold of him and start punching him in the face, and they have them, and others throw the stones at him, and eventually he falls to the ground. Once he falls to the ground, they surround him, they pick the stones, drop it on his head, others hold him, kick him in the head, punch him, and they keep dropping the stones at him. He's moving slowly while lying down on the floor, and at a point, he cannot move anymore. One gentleman in pink shirt picks up a rough-edged stone, stands directly above him, and drops the stone heavily on his forehead. That leaves him with lots of blood oozing out of the forehead. And at that point, he's motionless. Another man in the video walks up close, holds the trousers the man is wearing, and drags the trousers off him, leaving the fair-colored man completely naked. His shirt has already been removed at this stage. Then the stones still hit on him. Another man now drags his two legs, holds the two legs, and drags him on the floor away from the unpainted building where he's lying into the bush. And the stone throwing still continues at that point. He's motionless, but the beating doesn't stop at any point in time. And according to our chief investigator, the chief inspector who handled this particular case, 13 of the 14 accused persons have been identified in the video, and pictures of them taken from the video.
Joseph, I'm losing you. I'm losing you again. I think I heard you up until the time where you said 13 of these people have been identified in this particular video. Let's give it one last chance. Joseph, 14 of them, 13 have been identified in the video. Is there any explanation for where we find the other one? Okay, I'm having a little bit of a hard time with Joseph Akable there, but as you heard him say, there has been an identification of these people in the video that he describes to us who are beating up this man. Okay, I do have Joseph. I did say we're trying for the last time, but you know, let's give it a try again. Joseph, you were telling us that 13 of the 14 people have been identified in this particular video.
Yes, the 14th, according to prosecutors, is Will.
Certainly looks like we have to continue the story much later, perhaps at 3 p.m. On the Pulse. So let's move on with some other stories now. You may have left home this morning with a promise to your family or friends to return. Well, for 771 people who left home between January and March this year, they could not keep that promise. They were killed in a motor accident. That is why Joy News, together with the National Road Safety Authority, has for over a year now been preaching safety on our roads, and has led to our latest hotline documentary, Crushed. It's produced by Seth Kwame Boateng.
Not all people who died from road traffic accident got their families to even hear about the unfortunate incident or death. In various mortuaries across the country, there are such bodies there waiting for families to reclaim them. The Kwamfonochi Teaching Hospital mortuary is one of them. This part of the hospital is undoubtedly the quietest. Those autopsies have been done on them already, have been tagged and lie on an aluminium trolley placed inside the refrigerated body store. In another room behind me are other lifeless bodies on embalming tables. Some have been opened up already for autopsy. There are others, however, waiting to be investigated. An accident body is one of them. This middle-aged lifeless man got severely injured in the accident that brought him here. His broken bones are all sticking out. Dr. Ernest J., head of the hospital's pathology directorate, sees such bodies on a weekly basis.
Every year we bury not less than 4 or 5 individuals who have not been identified, and these are usually road traffic crashes related. When we have kept the body for sometimes as long as 1 year and there's no one showing up, the necessary protocols are observed, and then these bodies are buried when we are doing mass burials.
Well, let's have a graphic representation of the country's accident figures between January and February 2021. Well, there you have it. Between these 2 months. Here is what the Ghana Police Service is reporting. 517 people have been killed just between January and February. So this is 2 months. 517 have died. In terms of regional distribution, in the Greater Accra region, you have 89. Ashanti region is recording by far the most, 108. And then the Eastern region has 91. Central region has 21. Western region 30. Volta region has 17. And Northern region has 10, with the Upper West region recording 9 as well. And then the Upper East region has 26. Bono East, the Bono region has 15. Bono East 27. Ahafo region 10. Oti region 8. And then you have Savannah region 33, Western North 13, and Northeast, which is about the lowest, having 2. But so far, Greater Accra region, the Ashanti region, and the Eastern region seems to be on top when it comes to the regional distribution of people who have died in accident. Cases reported, by the way, were 2,560. Accident cases reported 2,560. Of the 2,560, 1,581 were commercial cases or were commercial vehicle related, and 974 were motorcycles or were involved motorcycles. So the majority were motorcycles and commercial vehicles, the causes of the accident on our roads between just January and February this year alone. While speaking on the AM show, Dr. Frederick Kwating, who is head of the emergency department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, revealed that the facility receives an average of 10 accident cases every day.
When it comes to trauma, orthopedics, and accident cases, we receive an average of 10 accident victims, especially those needing admissions on the day. In every day, we have an average of 10, and in most cases, we have about 3-4 of them being Okada injuries, and then the remaining 60 vehicle accidents. And a significant number of them are bad injuries, very serious ones that may have to be in the hospital for about 3 or 4 weeks. And in some cases, especially the Okada injuries, the injuries are that bad that to save the patient's life, we may have to actually even amputate their limbs, because sometimes they come in with limbs that have been beyond service. You see, the cases are of various types. You have some that are brought in with head injuries, some that are brought in with multiple injuries, a number of them have broken limbs. And we have a fairly good system in place that takes care of them with a significant amount of success. But it is a big source of worry, the number of cases that we see on a daily basis at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
My colleague Seth Kwame Boateng is joining me on Zoom right now. He produced this documentary, by the way. Hello, Seth. Seth, I am hopeful that you can...
Good afternoon.
Right. Good afternoon, Seth. This is a story that we've been teasing out the whole of last week. We've seen some of the very compelling stories of drivers and of people who have been injured and people who have died. We've heard from family members of people who have died in road accident. What should we expect when we see finally the documentary later tonight?
Hello. Well, we're going to learn more about how we need to be careful on our roads because you may be very careful, but somebody from nowhere would cause you to find yourself in a problem. So we're going to learn more about what we can do, the best practices, and how we have to obey all the traffic protocols when we are on the road. But we're also going to hear from experts about how we handle accident victims when we go to the scene, because the literature tells us that most of the people who die at accident scene die because of how they are handled, and those who also got paralyzed eventually, also suffered that the scene of the accident because of how they were handled. So we're going to learn all these things and also at the end of the day appreciate why we must be extra careful on our roads.
Well, the full documentary will be premiered to a select audience at 4 p.m. today at the auditorium of the Ghana Shapers building. Why are we doing this? What do we intend to achieve?
Because we need to bring all the stakeholders together. I mean, those in the road safety management chain, we need to bring all of them together so we can watch together, understand the issues, and discuss the issues. We're going to have a discussion after we've seen the documentary so that we bring up ideas as to what we can do moving forward. Then I state others get opportunity, the rest of us get opportunity to watch the documentary on TV, and those who don't have TV can listen to us live on Joy FM.
All right, Seth.
And on all our online channels.
Okay, Seth, is there anything else you'd like to part with before we wrap it up?
Yeah. We're careful, but I will keep the rest so that after we've watched the documentary, we can have a discussion. I don't want to give everything out.
Very well. Seth Kwame Boateng is producer of our latest Hotline documentary, Crushed. Away from that, 2 weeks ago, he stepped out to give money to a colleague at the busy Opekuma Junction in Kasoa, but he never returned home. He died after he was shot on a Wednesday morning by 2 armed men. That is the story of a 42-year-old businessman, Stephen Ntim. As part of our stories highlighting the insecurity situation in Kasoa this week, Maxwell Agbagba speaks to the wife of the deceased. She wants police to do more to arrest the culprits, as she says she feels unsafe in Kasoa.
This is the spot where 42-year-old Stephen was standing when he was accosted by 2 men on a motorbike. We understand from eyewitnesses that they asked for his money, and that was followed with a gunshot. They made away and bolted with the money. But this place was buzzing with activities like these. Eyewitnesses say it was too late to pursue the robbers. The crime scene is a busy spot at the Opekuma Junction on the Kasoa Highway. Eyewitnesses tell me they were helpless because the attackers had weapons. They say they did not expect a robbery at 9 a.m. on the busy section of the road. I'm now at the residence of the deceased where family members are seated. His wife, Mamiesi Ankuma, has been narrating to me how she got to know of the killing.
I'm going to know Sanji's going to go. Some hours time, Nami, I'm afraid the phone.
They shot him and bolted with his money. I called his phone some hours later. A man answered and said his phone is at the police station. He lied to me that my husband was involved in an accident.
I don't know hospital until the phone.
My husband does not like trouble. He's always indoors and stays away from bad company.
She's urging police to do more to arrest the culprits.
Our only hope now is the police. They should help arrest the perpetrators.
Mamiesi Ankuma says she does not feel safe in Kasoa Opekuma.
At the same time, you're safe.
We are not safe here at Kasoa Opekuma. Every day we hear issues of theft, murder and other vices. We are begging authorities to come to our aid because we are not safe here.
Especially
the deceased 42-year-old Stephen Ntim was married for 6 years. He left behind a 5-year-old son. One of his tenants described him as a generous and tolerant landlord.
And he's a very good man. He don't talk. He don't have a friend.
When he comes back from work, he's in his room. He don't even come out. He's a very good man. This Monday, it's very sad someone have killed him. Because he just left a small boy. The boy is, he's now getting to 5 years old. I went to Accra. So on my way coming home, someone told me, have you heard something? I said, what? Say, your landlord has been killed. When you go home, don't make any noise. Don't cry, because they've not told her wife. I said, okay. So when I came home, I asked one of the lady in our house, and she said it's true, but I should not make any something that her wife will know that something is going wrong. I went to her wife. I asked her, Mommy, how are you? She said, I'm fine. Where is Daddy? They said Daddy has got an accident, but he's fine. He's in coma. So in the evening, we will go to the hospital. I said, okay. So around 7 to 7:30, and then they told us the man he's gone, he's dead. He's a good man. Even if you don't have money, he gives. He's a very good man. He's a very good man. I don't even know what to say.
Eric Asamoah is a friend of the deceased. We feel very unsafe here. When you are sleeping at night, you are scared. When you send your child, you are scared. He was a very quiet man. He does not like trouble. The Kasoa police says it is still investigating the matter.
Maxwell Agbagba with that report there. Away from that Kasoa insecurity, the Wenchi community in the Triponi district of the northeast region still remains largely deserted after residents fled to neighboring villages after a renewed chieftaincy dispute over the weekend. Following the enskinment of a new chief on Saturday, tensions escalated between rival factions, leading to the deployment of heavy security in the town. Despite the massive security presence, the residents remain mainly members of the opposing faction have begun fleeing the community in their numbers. Journey's checks this morning, however, reveal an uneasy calm as residents who remain in the community begin to come out of their homes and attend to their businesses. Ilyasu Tanko is our correspondent in the northeast region. He's joining me via Zoom. Ilyasu, you've given Benis some updates earlier this morning. Let's update our viewers with a bit of a background once again to this chieftaincy dispute.
Well, the information about the controversy of this chieftaincy issue is very sketchy because of how the whole issue started. I mean, we understand that it's been 20 years, more than 20 years since the last chief of the community passed on, and since then there have not been any chief in the community. But what we do know is that this particular chieftaincy dispute is between the Fombron clan and then the Jabo clan. They are all of the Anofo ethnic tribe. And what we do know that the Fombron clan and then the Jabo clan has laid a competing claim over the scheme. The last chief, we understand, came from the Fombron clan, but this time the Jabo clan also resisted that. It was time for them to occupy that particular scheme, and that resulted in this particular dispute. It traveled for more than 20 years until last Saturday, the overlord of Dagon, the Yana, decided to give the community a new chief, and that resulted in this particular tension gift. Okay,
so the enskinment did go on, and we've seen what happened. Again, another brief on actually what happened, because what has happened in the past is that you'll have disputes between Chekosi and Kukumbas, but this is different. What is happening now? Ilyasu? Okay, it looks like Ilyasu froze upon me, but we know that the skinned chief at the center of this dispute has also been calling for peace. And we'll hear from Ilyasu, if we do raise him back on the line, what the other faction has been saying in response to this particular call for peace. I'm trying to raise Ilyasu Tanko back on the line so we get a real understanding of the situation on the ground. As Ilyasu is reporting, as of this morning, there has been some calm, but it is an easy calm. The police has told us, of course, that their men are on the ground and are at work to stop the violence from spiraling out of control. Ilyasu is joining me now via phone. Hello, Ilyasu.
Hi, Gifty, I'm here.
Ilyasu, let's wrap up with the point you were making. I wanted to understand what happened with the renewed violence, the renewed clashes. And I indicated that this is quite different from what has happened in the past, which is usually between the Chekosis and Kokumbas. This is different.
Yes, exactly. This is what has been happening in the Cherpone district has been between the Anufos, the Chekosis, and the Kokumbas, and it has been over a land at a community called Naduni. But this particular one in the Wenchi community is between two Chekosis tribes, and that is the Fombron and then the Jabu clan. So, and this is the first time that we have seen really tension escalated to this particular point. There have been simmering tensions, but what we are witnessing now has been very unprecedented. For the last 20 years, the people have been living peacefully. At a point, there have been tensions, but hasn't gotten to what we are witnessing currently. And so what has been happening is quite different from what we are witnessing in the Wenchi community right now.
And so this is an intra-ethnic dispute.
Exactly.
One of these ethnic groups that usually fight other ethnic groups are fighting amongst themselves. But the skinned chief, Ilyasu, at the center of this dispute has been calling for peace. What has the other faction been saying in response to these calls for peace?
Well, it's been very difficult trying to get a comment from the other factions. What we have been hearing from their side has been packing out of the community. We understand since Saturday since the arrival of the new chief, Alaja Bakari Awufo, to the particular community, the other side has been, packing out, leaving that particular community to neighboring communities, and it's been very difficult getting a word from the leadership of the Jabu faction. And so as we speak right now, we don't have any word from that particular faction.
Has the Regional Security Council made any propositions as to what they think might be the solution to this particular issue beyond the current deployments that it has made?
Well, since Friday, the Regional Security Council has been very busy in this particular matter. Earlier attempts, there were attempts by the council to stop the escapement because of security concerns in the area. The regional minister, led by, accompanied by some top officers of the Regional Security Council, traveled to Yindi to meet with the overlords of Gabon in attempt to stop this particular process. But as we understood, the overlord was very adamant. He said he was going ahead with the escapement, and indeed the escapement went ahead. Today, what we are hearing is that the Regional Security Council, the regional minister, is still in talks with the people of Wenchi, the overlord himself, the overlord of Davan himself, and also the paramount chief of Chertone, to try and ensure that this particular tension will not spiral out of control. And so the Regional Security Council has been very busy. The regional police commander has himself gotten involved directly with ensuring that there is peace in this particular community.
Finally, Ilyasu, what have residents been saying about what the latest, clashes, and of course about the latest deployment, something they are pretty much used to?
Saturday and Sunday, the community was virtually deserted. But as we speak right now, school children are currently in school. The rules to that particular community are very active. People are traveling in and out. And it's a very, even though there's an easy calm in that particular community, but people are going about their normal, activities. What they are calling for is total peace. People who are not, involved in this particular violence, who are not royal, are pleading with the two factions to ensure that there's peace so that they could go ahead with their business, especially now that we are getting into the rainy season.
Eliasu, thank you very much. And it's important to mention the rainy season because that is when the people who are mostly farmers get to work, and that's how they make they get their livelihoods. Or coming up in business, players in the aquaculture sector here in Ghana are calling for government support as they make a move to participate in the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Daryl Powell is standing by right now.
We believe there is a lot we can do. At the moment, we have not even addressed about 10% of our challenges.
Time to bring you some business news. My name is Daryl Kwao. Welcome everyone. Players in the aquaculture sector here in Ghana making a push to participate in the Continental Free Trade Area. They are therefore asking government to support by making the sector a priority in order to make them competitive. Earlier, I spoke with Research Director of the Chamber of Aquaculture Ghana, Dr. Lawel Tete, who says the industry has not been fully tapped, including value addition.
All I know is we have a few businesses that smoke and also dry some of our fishes here, the tilapia and the catfish, for export. But that is all I know for now. But we can do other things, as I said, canning, and exporting that. So
it appears there's a lot to be explored in that space as well. I want to ask you about government policy for the aquaculture sector. I'm reading a document where it says that government has placed aquaculture as one of the top priorities in the country's development agenda. Do you feel that support? Do you feel that agenda being set?
At the moment, I wouldn't say we are seeing that. We have to be honest. We know government is trying, but as we always say in Ghana, there's still more room for improvement. Our sector hasn't really received the needed attention, not just from the current administration, but even previous administrations. It's been many years since we've been asking previous governments and even the current government to give us some exemptions, and we are yet to receive them. So it's not just about maybe one administration or the other, but as a whole, we haven't received much support. And we believe it's an area that can bring the country a lot of foreign exchange. And it can also help us create more jobs, especially as we are battling with high, unemployment rates in the country. So we are asking the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development to partner with other stakeholders like the Chamber of Aquaculture to find ways and means to help the sector to develop and grow, because we believe there's a lot we can do. At the moment, we have not even addressed about 10% of our challenges.
Wow.
We have a lot of issues that we need to address. Okay, high cost of production, diseases, regulation, infiltration of foreign, fishes into our waters, smuggling of fishes from other countries to this place. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
In other news, the International Monetary Fund has classified Ghana as low-income developing country in its April 2021 fiscal monitor. 13 African countries were, however, ranked as emerging and middle-income economies. Charles Nixon Yabua has been looking through the classifications and reports.
According to the fund's latest fiscal monitor, the country is no more recognized as a middle-income economy, despite achieving that status in 2009. However, countries such as Angola, Gabon, Swaziland and Namibia, which Ghana is said to be doing better than, are classified as emerging and middle-income economies by the Bretton Woods institution. It appears the COVID-19 pandemic had been unfavorable to the country, impacting negatively on her finances. Ghana's positioning may be due to the poor state of its fiscal economy, which requires tougher measures going forward in order to bounce back to a better state. The budget deficit to gross domestic product of 11.7% is a major worry. Additionally, the rising debt, which the nation will spend about 46% of its revenue to pay investors this year, is also a headache to managers of the Ghanaian economy. For now, all eyes will be on the managers of the economy on how to reposition and get the country back to its former levels.
All right, that's your business news for now. There's more coming up at the top of the hour on the marketplace. Sports is up next. Stay tuned.
But now let's do something on football. GFA President Kurt Okreko has dismissed claims that the association imposed players on Black Stars head coach C.K. Akono. However, he has admitted that the team list goes through a process he described as editing.
Sit back and I hear stories. It's at times I'm
so
happy.
So he's your friend?
If he's not my friend, then he's not a friend of the football association. He's our friend. In
multimedia, we have a culture that says we don't have to be friends to get the job done. So that is probably what you are doing.
No, I mean we are friends. There's nothing wrong.
Do you trust C.K. Akono's judgment as Black Stars coach?
If we don't, he will not be there.
Do you trust him?
If we don't, he will not be there.
Do you subject his collapse to editing?
Collapse for all national teams go through processes, and these people must understand. Gone were those days where one person will wake up one day and there's a collapse. It will never happen again.
So when
the coach and his team would work with the technical directorate to pick up a squad. And if they are convinced about the squad, they need to go and convince the management committee of the team about the squad. Finally, there would always be a meeting. Some I may attend, or any other person that I pick to attend. And when we have a consensus, the squad is announced by the head trainer. This is a system that is administered everywhere in the world, not in Ghana. There's nowhere that one single individual makes collapse.
There's nowhere one individual makes collapse. That is according to the president of the Ghana Football Association. Now let's continue and listen to him. Hooliganism has become a major canker in Ghana football since time immemorial. In recent times, referees are attacked for what football fans describe as deliberate manipulation of match outcomes. The Ghana FA has been flagged by the media for what they say the football governing body is doing nothing to curb the menace. GFA President Kurt Okreko insists he is not the Inspector General of Police and expects the police to act by arresting the perpetrators of these crimes.
Control the mindset of every individual in the world. Most importantly, every individual who wakes up in the morning goes to our match centers to consume our domestic football. For which reason, you must always make that room available that somebody would misbehave. And when it is that people misbehave, people must be educated and must be made to go through laid down processes within the football ecosystem, i.e. in seeking redress. I sit here and I wholeheartedly condemn hooliganism that has been noticed or that has happened in some of the league centers. Yes. In some of the league centers, we realize that punishment alone is not enough to eradicate hooliganism. Yes. It's important that we re-preach the gospel of respecting the rules and regulations of the sport.
Nobody has been prosecuted.
First of all, you expect. Yes. I'm not the IGP. Yes. Sorry, I'm not the police commander. Yes. Of course, I'm not the IGP. His officers are on the ground. And what we can do is to continuously remind them about the need for them to help the football system.
It is important for the police to help the system. That is according to the president of the Ghana Football Association. That's our time will permit us here for Sports on Joy News today. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Up next is Showbiz.
Away from that, Dr. Sonny Badu has spoken officially with regards to his recent honorary degrees and doctorates. He made it clear that those titles and achievements strictly pertain to his ministry and is not necessarily public. He spoke to my colleague, KMJ.
So I knew that in ministry, besides my honorary doctorates, I knew that I wanted to do certain things for myself, you know? And prior to that, I'd received in 2014, I can't remember the year, my honorary doctorate in divinity. Of course, if you follow my teachings, after you read this, you will give me more in divinity because the mysteries are decoded in this book. I've been preaching this book for about 10 years. And an honorary doctorate, you have to also prove that you're worth it, you know? It's not... I don't know how people do it elsewhere in Africa, but because before you're given an honorary doctorate, you have to also put things together and prove that you deserve it. It doesn't come that easy here.
And on that rather sad note, we call it a day on Joy News today. There is more news at myjoyonline.com. We have the top stories there trending. You can so did you expect Speaker to select his enemies as advisors? I say don't get your quizzes, chairman. So that story is there, plus others. You want to click on it and share it with your contacts on social media. I'm Gifty Abdul. Many thanks for your time this afternoon. I'm back at 3 p.m. with The Pulse. Please make a date.